One of the unique attributes of Baal Shem and Talmid Baal Shem was that obviously we read the Torah as a guide for behavior. We besides the Torah mitzvah's guide to what to do and how to do it. The Torah gives us hadracha by giving us the Ma'aseh Avos. Ah, Mendy's there. Well, Mendy.
So.
And the Baalei Mussar they take examples of you see from the Avos, you see Chesed, you see Anivus, you see Tzidkus, right? You see
Kindness.
The ability to kindness. You see lots of different midas from the Avos, and when we get into say for Shemos, the Ma'aseh similar Labanim, that it's not only about Gulas Mitzrayim, but it's about the Golus and Gula of all Klal Yisrael throughout the years. The Hashem came and says it has to be more than that. It has to be teaching us what to do. You can't just take a metaphor and say, because we saw Moshe Rabbeinu was that he refused, didn't want to take upon himself the responsibility of being the Shliach Hashem. He wanted Aaron to be the Shliach Hashem. So therefore, we understand that that Torah is nicknamed b'midah with Anivus. So you have to be humble. But that doesn't tell us how we make that ours. It has to be something which tells us what to do with our own lives, and not just because we learn a lesson from them, but because it's talking to us. So, given that the Sefer Chasidus do that all the time, and they reinterpret, or give it deeper, another way to understand Torah, then Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim is about careful. Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim is about how we deal with ourselves every single day, not just how we will get out of Golus, but how we deal with ourselves in our own nisyonos, in our own struggles, and how to find a relation with HaKadosh Baruch Hu every single day of our lives. And there's a basic premise that Torah, and this is they bring it from the Zohar. Anybody who says that Torah is a storybook it's not merit Olam Haba, right? Because it's not a story. Because the Ramban in his Psicha, the Ramban in his Psicha to Sefer to Chumash says that really Sefer Bereshis we shouldn't even be allowed to learn. It's all Shemos Hashem. It's all Ma'aseh. It's all Yetzias Ha'olamus, and that really all of the Chumashim is all Shemos Hashem. It's all tell us how the Hashem created Shema. Not only created Shema, it's a Mechadish B'tuv V'chol Yom Tovim Ma'aseh because Baruch is Mechadish every single day. By the way, just an interesting thing. We're learning halacha together this week with Eliezer Geber. And we took it that you know why we have two candles for Havdalah?
2 wicks.
2 wicks. Why is that? Why do you have to have 2 wicks?
Together?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, why do you have to connect them together? Yeah, what's wrong with one candle?
Yeah.
And if you have 2 candles, why can't you keep them separate?
You have to put them together, and you do very many. Hey.
So and the Gemara says mitzvah and amufra. It's the most best way to do Havdalah ba'avuka, which is at least a candle with 2 wicks, at least 2 wicks.
Exactly, you just said. Ira is plural, H is singular.
Well, a little bit he's right because it's Yetzer Hamaris, right? And so a little bit of this, it's plural. Why does it have to be plural? What's wrong with just one candle?
The R of Din and the R of Rachamim.
Yeah, okay, that's nice. So I will tell you, it comes a really interesting technical point. The reason why we make the Bar Matzah Shabbos because that's when Hashem created fire. Adam and Chava were in Gan Eden for the whole Shabbos. Comes the end of Shabbos, Hashem took them outside of Gan Eden, and outside of Gan Eden it got dark. It says Adam and Chava became afraid. So Hashem created fire, showed them how he said you take 2 rocks and you knock them together, and you start and you build a fire. And Hashem showed them how to create that. Hashem created fire for Adam HaChavah. So therefore, Motzei Shabbos is to remind us that we lost Shabbos. We're now back into darkness. And therefore, you have to show that you have a flame to remember that Hashem created fire. However, what happens if you have a candle burning? Then there's nothing new about that piece of fire. That fire was burning all Shabbos. It says you have to take another flame, another candle, and light it so that you could show that you were thanking Hashem for having given us now Motzei Shabbos fire. So it requires at least 2 candles. Huh?
Why do you put them together?
Oh, because you need to show that you have 2 fires, 2 flames. Huh?
Say again?
So what?
Only 2 candles.
That's the 2 candles before Shabbos is Shomer V'Zocha.
Right.
Each for Isha, right? And for Motzei Shabbos, you need to show that you're creating fire. Hashem gave us Borei Moresh, Hashem created fire. And it's according to most opinions, you can't say that Hashem Borei Eish. Hashem created fire. You have to say Borei Moresh Ha'esh. Hashem shows the light of fires, which means we have to show at least a new flame, even if we have a candle burning.
Only tolerate if I meaning if I already have 1 candle.
You already have 1 candle or a light in the room, you still need to create a flame to show that Hashem created fire.
Have any candles burning?
Then you're not showing anything. You're not showing this is something new.
Right.
So therefore, you'd have to use a candle with 2 wicks, or have 2 wicks, take candle, and join the 2 wicks together. Yaknahaz, right? The Yaknahaz is a chiddush that you have to have the light lit then, not before. If you light it, if it's lit before, then it doesn't do anything for you.
Even if you have 2 younger candles lit.
Yeah, if you have 2,
separate candles for both.
you should have a separate candle for Abdullah.
Except Motzei Kippur.
Except for your Motzei Kippur, that's because to show us that that's the only yontif which you're not allowed to have flame on, not allowed to light a fire on. So there you have to use a flame that was on before Shabbos and then add a flame to it. Just
So in a regular month of Shabbos, there's no difference if you strike a match or if you take from an existing little,
Correct.
There's
correct.
Okay, that's
So when I was a child, my mother used to always take 2 matches. You said when
right before the rough
right?
Blue discs.
Right? Why?
paper.
Because that's where Hashem taught Adam about how to create fire. We're taking 1 rock and hitting another rock and creating sparks. So just is interesting. Says because Hashem is Machadish every day. So with Motzei Shabbos, starting a new week, you must start right away. By Yotzar HaMaros, you have to create 2 lights.
Is there, while we're talking about Haval candles, is there an opinion for the height of a chassan if a girl holds a candle? Or that's just.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
Listen, yes, I heard that many times. Hold the candle lighter, hold the left higher.
It's been
And if it's a boy, you should hold the lower.
No, that boy went from the bottom of the candle.
So that's all made up. There's no car for that. That's made up.
How do you think we got Yehuda?
I'm waiting for the Rebbe table.
She was standing on a ladder.
No joke.
With 2 like this, with 2.
You've never seen Chedva do.
So that's really one of the qualifications that you ask when you do a shidduch. How high does she hold the left of the candle?
Pretty obvious for my second 2 daughters.
I guess the first one never did it.
All right. So therefore, we understand that everything that is done in Klal Yisrael has a very deep meaning. For us to be like other, that we're like other Mauritian, that we go step into darkness and Kadosh Baruch Hu gave us fire. then it's up to us to misaking the chait of Adam Machaba, and that's why today it says that when you make Havdalah, you should look into the kos,
The reflection.
into reflection, and look at the nearest, at the Havdalah candle. Why?
Through the case?
No, look at the kos, and look at the candles.
Separate.
But don't you look at the case, you make a prayer for your coffin, you're supposed to be looking at the case.
Why? Because that was the chait of Eitzadas. It's like the Chava gave Adam, opinion, gave him grapes.
Friday night also?
That's right.
Well, Friday night you have everything,
So you should look at both. You look at the kos, you look at the candles. So therefore, it tells us, we get a little bit into the depth of how Torah gives us guidance. Then we realize that it's talking to us, not just saying, Adam and Chava, they did, and therefore, no, it's talking to us. It's talking to us. Each one of us has a pneumius, has an inside of that which is inside of us, which is there to guide us, to give us the way to be masakim, to the extent that each one of us has that correct to be masakim the chait of Adam and Chava. And the Klal Yisrael in Mitzrayim was given a unique opportunity. It says because Chazal tell us that when Hashem brought the Mabul and all of the Avodah Zarah and all of the Ashchas, all of the purpose of creation was wiped off the earth. Where did they all go? It says it went to the lowest place in the world, which was Mitzrayim. So all of the potential that the Dor HaMabul had and didn't fulfill became the avodah of Klal Yisrael, but that's by Abidah, that's by Yisrael B'Forach. Bnei Yisrael had to work their way through all of that which was left over from the Dor HaMabul, and they had to elevate it, and therefore, they emptied out Mitzrayim. They emptied out Mitzrayim, not just they emptied out all the gold and the jewelry and all the stuff, they emptied out all of the neshamas that were left in Mitzrayim that had been washed away from the world into Mitzrayim. Okay, so then we recognize that we come to a little bit of recognition that it's our tafkid, and our tafkid is to recognize, that Hashem is guiding us and giving us the opportunity to bring the world back to Adam Chava Kainam Achet, and that the Mitzrayim, that the goal is from Mitzrayim, the goal of Mitzrayim was every step was to teach us how to do it. So it's not only that the Zeicher L'Tzias Mitzrayim, every day we put on tefillin, every day we give a kiss to mezuzah. Every time that we do something that's a Zeicher L'Tzias Mitzrayim, it's not because it happened then, but because it has to happen now. Kissing the mezuzah, you're acknowledging that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is there in our lives. So my father used to tell us, to repeat the story many, many times, that Zayd al-Matala would travel around to the different towns under his goal, under his authority, and the wealthiest person of the town was the one who always hosted the Rebbe.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and if there were a couple of Gvirim, they used to bid. They used to compete. So he came to one town where the biggest Gvir of the town, and every all the Chassidim come with the Rebbe. They're accompanying the Rebbe to the house of his host, and the Rebbe Mantel put his hand on the mezuzah, stopped. He says, "Is there another door to this house?" He says, "Yeah, there's the side entrance." He says, "Let's go to the side entrance." So they went to the side entrance. Went there. So all the Chassidim wanted to know what they did. Went to check the mezuzah. The mezuzah was kosher. And they couldn't figure it, but they realized that in honor of the Rebbe had put out a tapestry on the front entranceway. Beautiful tapestry.
The red carpet.
Like the red carpet. They didn't have carpet. They had a beautiful tapestry that was laid down on the floor for when the Rebbe would walk in. And the Chassidim asked, where's this tapestry from? He says, this tapestry was used by the hostess to keep her bed covered. They came off the bed of the hostess of
The Gavir's wife
the Greer's wife.
was on her bed.
It was on her bed. So it came from a mitas nida. So the Rebbe, the Ruach HaKodesh, the Rebbe knew he says he heard the Chassidim tummeling. Says, what tummelt sich do? He says that the Rebbe there is no Ruach HaKodesh. The Rebbe showed us his special insight. Ruach HaKodesh. He says it's not Ruach HaKodesh. See, Torah says you have to learn Torah day and night. It's impossible. You can't learn Torah 24 hours a day. First of all, you have to eat, sleep. You have to do business. It's impossible. You can't. So he says, but the Torah says you have to learn Torah day and night. So how do you fulfill that? He says, before you do something, think about the halachas. Hilchos netilas yadayim, hilchos b'tzias hapas, hilchos berachas hamazon, hilchos beis hakisei. Right? If you think about it, and then you do the action, then the action is considered learning Torah because you thought about the halachas before you did it. So therefore, when you did it, you're fulfilling the halachas. So therefore, the action that you're doing is considered Torah. It says, I came to the house, I put my hand on the mezuzah. I wanted to think about hilchos mezuzah. Instead, in my mind, jumped out hilchos nida. I said, there's something wrong here. So my father, told me that he told over the story to the name of Rosh Yeshiva Torah was Reuben Gruzensky. He went to visit. No, it was Shlomo Hyman. Shlomo Hyman had gotten sick, and my father went to Vivak. So he told him over the story. He says, take a look. He says, you think about what makes a person into a Gadol B'Yisrael. If a person knows that there's a thought in his mind that's not in its right place, pay attention to it. He says, take a look. That he was a person who knew when the wrong thought came into his mind. Alavai, we should know when the right thought comes into our mind. Okay, now we're going to get into the Parsha. Because it struck me, we're doing Shvi this year. So Shvi starts off with a really interesting. The first two psukim of Shvi caught my attention because they are somewhat a little bit out of context. Shvi starts off Kapitel Hey. V'achar bo Moshe v'Aaron v'Yom el Paro koyam Hashem Elokei Yisrael shalach. It's the army. So what's this? So the Chazal asks, what's this? Achar what? So it says, is it after Moshe Rabbeinu comes back, after Moshe talks to the Zakanim, after So Rashi says v'achar bo. He says because achar bo Moshe v'Aaron. Only Moshe and Aaron came. The Zakanim disappeared. Moshe goes before the psukim before. Right? He got the Zakanim, and by the time they came to before Paro, all of the Zakanim like slipped away. They didn't want to take the risk of Paro's wrath, so Moshe Rabbeinu ended up walking into the palace of Paro by themselves. That's Rashi. And because of that, therefore, when Moshe went up to Har Sinai, he would go on alone.
So why not?
Oh, so why not Aaron, right? But that's okay. So but that's Rashi. Rashi brings the message. Shemos Rabbah, right? It's from Moshe Rabbah. The Ramban says really the Acher was to tell us that Moshe had given over to Aaron all of the Shemos that Hashem gave to Moshe Rabbeinu at Har Sinai. All the Shemos that with Moshe Rabbeinu do the Oishus, he gave over to Aaron. He gave over to Aaron that he should know, right? He should be able to do all the Mofsim So after Moshe Rabbeinu gave over all of the Shemos HaKadoshim over to Aaron, so then Moshe and Aaron were able to come and stand in front of Paro. Okay, so that the word Ba'achar has another. There's several different other ways to learn it, but this is a new stage of which Moshe and Aaron are coming into Paro. Okay, Pasuk base. Vayomer Paro mi Hashem she'eshma b'koiloi. Who is Hashem that I should listen to his voice? L'shalach es Yisrael that I should send Yisrael. Lo yadati es Hashem, v'gam Yisrael lo yashalech. Right. So that everybody has to feel that with this Paro's response. The Targum takes us to, what I gave you was the simple translation in English. I don't know if it's article or not, but simple translation of the pasuk was not Parsha. The Targum, if you take a look at the Targum once, it says, Amar Paro Shemod Hashem lo yizgalali. Hashem didn't appear to me. So you're telling me that Hashem wants me to send Bnei Yisrael out of Mitzrayim? So let Hashem come and tell me. Right? Didn't Yosef come tell Paro what Hashem wanted? So he says, yeah, but he didn't want to acknowledge Yosef, but they knew Yosef. You couldn't wipe Yosef off the history of Mitzrayim. They knew he knew that Yosef had a relationship with the Creator, that he saw the dreams and he could interpret the dreams and he would give them wisdom and be able to gather together all of the wealth of the world to Mitzrayim. It says, but that doesn't mean that he has the God that has the power to tell me what to do. Yeah, sure, there's a God. Yeah, there's a power. Okay, but that power should tell me what to do. You better talk to me himself.
So it's because he didn't have any chalamas?
Yeah, chalamas. He said, yeah, last power has chalamas. He said, if Hashem wanted me to go time, he should give me chalamas. He should have come and told me that I need to pay attention to what Bnei Yisrael. Yeah, you can send a shliach. Hashem needs a shliach to take him out of Mitzrayim. Maybe he's not powerful enough to tell me and my gods that I have to let Mitzrayim. So you almost have to say, because look at the way the pasuk is structured. Why did Shiur start off? He said, "You tell me Yud Kei Vav Kei." You should have answered, "Lo yadat yes Hashem." I don't know who's Hashem. And then they would say, "Mi Hashem Yashma B'Kolei." Why? Who is this God that you have? I have to listen. But the pasuk is back in that sense is backwards. Paro knew that there was the power of Yosef, the power of Klal Yisrael. He knew that because they had experienced it. He says, but why does he have to send a shliach? Why doesn't he come and talk to me himself? The Targum Yonison puts it a little bit stronger. He didn't come and tell me that I have to listen to his voice, listen to his words, that I should take Bnei Yisrael. He hasn't told me. He didn't tell me. He says, and I already said, I checked all the...
Not a bad time.
It's a great time.
It's not a bad time.
Great time, because that's us. Right? This is us. Okay, let's just take the current dialogue. Came out. There's now a circular thing going around. Everybody should subscribe to not talking in shul on Shabbos. Right?
Yeah. Because
the schus of not talking in shul on Shabbos will help Klal Yisrael get out of its difficulties. So I don't get into that discussion because you can't argue with it.
We try to. It's not easy.
Right?
That's a separate issue.
Yeah, and then there's the whole emotional kick that comes with it. That since the Tosfos Yontif said that the reason why so many schools got destroyed was because they weren't treating the Bati Knesset, Bati Midrashos with kavod. So therefore, so since we are being threatened, it must be that the reason for why this is happening is because we are talking in shul. A little bit hard to go from Gaza to talking in shul.
Like you get it? Why did the
Dad, mezuzahs, tefillin. Why not? Well, yeah, keep on the Shmir. Shabbos, light candles 15 minutes earlier because of Gaza. You know, there's a lot of things that have been promoted, which are good. They're all good. They're all good. But what the real problem is who are you to tell me what to do? Right? Hashem wants me to say not to talk in Shalom on Shabbos.
Let him tell himself.
Let him tell me himself. Okay, so well, he didn't tell himself. I have to listen to that. So the difficulty is not what we should be doing. We all know what we should be doing. We should be trying harder. We should be more careful with our measures. We should be give more code to both consider both. Absolutely, it's not. But somebody else has to tell me what to do. Why doesn't Hashem tell me directly? And that was Par's argument. Par's time was, you tell me that Hashem, the one who you said that this is the God of Yosef that is so powerful. So let him come and tell me what to do. At least give me a dream, give me a sign, tell me. You know, I checked with all of my records, and I don't find yet that there is a power that's called that is greater than mine. Right? Or the powers that control Mitzrayim. So you know, this is our culture. This is the way we do things. Don't tell me what to do. Sound familiar? And that's the weakness. That's the power inside of each one of us. The power inside of each one of us is Hashem is trying to get to us a message through the Torah that we're supposed to not expect that we're going to hear it directly from Hashem, but we can hear it through the shliach of Hashem, through the manhigim of Hashem. And they had tainas in Moshe Rabbeinu, right? The Chachim came back to Moshe Rabbeinu, right? Why did you Hashem Moshe come back to Hashem? Why are you doing this to the people? There's the whole discussion among the Rishonim. How long was it from the Moshe that heard the snare, the burning bush on Har Sinai until some say it was 6 months, some say it was a year, some say it was 3 months.
People say it was 30, 40 years, no?
No. It definitely wasn't right away. And Moshe Rabbeinu said to Hashem, "You told me to take out time, but why is there a delay?" And it doesn't make a difference, 3 months or 6 months or a week. Moshe Rabbeinu comes to Paro. Hashem said, "Take him out of Mitzrayim." Paro won't listen. Boom, give him the makers. There shouldn't have been any delay. The fact that there is a delay means that you have to see that because Baruch Hu's timing, Hashem's timing is to teach us how to learn the depth of the greatness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the creation. If it would happen all at one time, we wouldn't have all the stories in Gaza, all the nisim and the flows that are taking place every single day, for with which the hall is filled with miracles every single day. Every day there's another set of nisim that are taking place, and we say, so then all of a sudden we say, the judges on the Israeli Supreme Court, that I'm not sure if they want to change. And to see the whole that everybody recognizes that the reason why our enemies felt that this was the time to make the attack was because we were at our weakest. Why? Because it was machlokes. So go ahead and perpetuate machlokes at this time. That's in the middle of this, perpetuate machlokes. They're out of their minds. They're they're not paying attention to the message. Mi Hashem. Without Hashem, come and tell the judges. One of the old classical anecdotes is about the time during the 40s and early 50s. Many of the older Orthodox shuls the boards wanted them to become more modern, so they wanted to take down the machitzas.
Took years to get it back up.
Yeah. It was a rough period of time. I know personally, we had a very good friend whose father was the chief rabbi of where's Schottenstein from?
Cincinnati.
Huh?
Toledo.
Ohio.
Toledo.
He is Ohio.
No, I'm saying Toledo.
Columbus?
Columbus.
Columbus,
Same
right?
thing.
Who's chief rabbi of Columbus? Rabbi Yehuda Greenwald, a big mechaber for him. The board voted out the mechitza. He had a heart attack. Right? So the story goes that the board is in the meeting with the rabbi says, if you vote, take out the mechitza from shul, a bolt of lightning will come down and strike you dead, destroy this table. So he got it. Okay, vote. 9 members to 1. Rabbi, sorry, 9 to 1. All in a light, a bolt of lightning comes, smashes the table. Everybody is thrown off their feet. President of the board gets up and says, okay, Rabbi, it's 9 to 2. Oh, classic. Because we keep on saying, Mia Hashem Asher Shema B'Koiloi. And on our personal basis, it's a tremendous demand that we say that the Kadosh Baruch Hu gave us to us that we should listen to what Hashem wants from us. And as long as we keep on saying, it's a Lo yadati es Hashem, I'm not so sure that I really know that Hashem is in my life. I really don't know that He's the power that I credited all the things that happened to me. That's power. There's a power inside of us. It's not just that power the story of how Yetzias Mitzrayim. Because ultimately, with the time that Moshe Rabbeinu had says, Kadosh Baruch Hu, you said you were going to show yourself to Bnei Yisrael, to show yourself to Paro. Here's the opportunity to have shown him. Why are you not showing him? Why is this happening when the power of HaKadosh Baruch Hu should become obvious to the world immediately? Which was a chiddush because Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu the power is not going to listen to you.
Right.
At the Sinai, Hashem told Moshe that Hashem, I'm going to send you, and power will not listen to you, so that I can show you, so I can show him, show the world, the ISIS and Moshe. So we want to get a little bit more personal. Which is the beginning of Parsha, the beginning of the next Parsha. Where's the Mapos? Jesus says, boy. I'm looking for his thing. The Chazal tell us that I'm going to, in order to show. So normally we translate, I'm going to show him all the signs that I will show in Mitzrayim. So they said no. So they'll be able to see that every single ois of the olive base contains the power of Yetzias Mitzrayim. And then when we daven, and we daven out of rote, and we don't pay attention to the oises of the siddur, we are given the power to see the light of Hashem in every single word in our tefillah, and instead we
Make it rugged and
we make it rugged. So there's the letter. Letter from the Zedra Motala that he wrote. It's in the back of the. And look, the new ones in the old Pelios. It's in the back. Letters that they had transcribed. And he says, Lula Mustafina, if it wouldn't be that I was afraid to publicly say this, I would say the Kol HaMispal Tefillah Anoshim L'Madam whoever davens out of rote, he'll avoid the Zohar. Yeah. That when we daven out of rote, we're not davening to Hashem. We're davening out of habit. We're davening out of habit. Who are we talking to? Are we talking to Hashem? We're davening, no, we're not. Must have to. Who are we talking to? Must be some other God. So Baal Shem HaKodesh said in Parsha Kriya Shema, be careful not to let your heart dissuade you. And you will turn away and serve other gods. He says, what is Vasartem? Turn away. He says, the moment that you turn away from thinking about Hashem, it's already idolatry. Because if we're not paying attention to whom we're talking to, then we must be talking to something else. Talking to something else, not talking to Hashem.
But maybe, the schus the tzibur, the Rebbe, the tefillah will be miskab.
Amen.
Amen. So it does. It makes it. So I found this Svarma Kedoshim that the person should say that before he starts davening. The person should say, "I'm about to daven, and I know that I will have difficulty." Yeah, the tefillah of the Rebbe Elimelech. Right? The tefillah of Rebbe Melech is a very powerful tefillah. He says, I want to daven the right way. My Yetzer Hara gets in the way. Because I'm bogged down by the tedious of the difficulties of everyday life, and I sometimes forget. So Hashem, please guide me so I should be able to daven with Hashem, years Hashem. So we're saying, I know that I may not be able to do daven the way I really should be able to daven. But I can say, Hashem, please, I know that. Please help me so I should be able to daven better. I should be able to have more kabbalah. I should be able to have more heart. I shouldn't see any chesronos in another Jew. Adarabah, liros malas chavreinu. Adarabah, give us the ability to see how Hashem is inside of every single Jew that we meet. Because if we do that, then all of our difficulties would go away.
I'm trouble understanding that if someone doesn't have proper kavanah by tefillah, then that's considered a bit of a bizarre. Where else do we find where someone is in a bit of a bizarre is by breaking something from the maker? Someone breaking a mistake is a bit bizarre. Why? Because it's not actually doing things.
Yeah, it's Cain, similar. Because we're not if we're saying words and we're not thinking about what the words that we're saying, then who are we talking to? So
Not throwing off the
yeah. So the Kamana in his parish on Chumash says, listen, one thing that you should have b'tochen is Hashem listens to every word that the Jew says. The fact that you weren't thinking about what you were saying, but Hashem heard what you were saying. Hashem heard what you were saying. So he says, don't go back and repeat it, because Hashem heard what you were saying. You can go back and think about it. He says, but Hashem listens to everything. Yeah, Hashem, you listen to the words of every mouth. So, see them say that the Ger Rebbe's the Beis Yisrael used to walk around by davening. He would literally walk back through the Beis Medrash to davening, and the Rebbe was there. You daven carefully. So he walked by, and there was a simple Jew who was going, no. The Rebbe to listen to him and said, So the Chussid turned to the Rebbe and says, he said, this Chussid, he won the argument. So on one hand, we do recognize that we're given a koach tefillah with which, when we say the words themselves, it has kedusha, but putting in the kavanah so that we really feel that's when we're listening to Hashem. And I saw it was swarm on the Siddur this week. It says that how do you know if you daven the right way? How do you know? Yeah. After all, we're all trying, right? How do you know? He says, if you walk out different than you walked in, then you know you davened right. So that's sort of like that's the clincher. Did we come out of davening with something new that we didn't see before? We come out with something new, a new insight. So I came out with this by HaRav tonight. This was tonight's insight by HaRav. Where you come to the middle of Shemona Esrei and we think about all the things that Klal Yisrael was going through. And Hashem should destroy all of our enemies. Baruch Ato Hashem, Shover Oivim, Umachnia Zedim. Translate. We thank Hashem, Shover Oivim, he breaks our enemies, Umachnia, and he subjugates, he bends Zedim, those who are purposeful. How does that come in? What does that come in? How does that make sense in the bracha? Okay, we said about Zaydim Meher Yisakir Shabbat. Yeah, those who are purposely violating the Torah, Hashem should destroy them. Baruch Hashem Shover Over Machnia Zaydim says if we see that Hashem destroys our enemies, then we know that even those who are intentionally trying to oppose Hashem takes care of them. Hashem Machnia. But that requires us to trust that Hashem is Shover Oivim. Then we'll see that actually all those who oppose the presence of Hashem in the world, Hashem will
Take care of it.
Take care of it. So Parsha Shemos, besides all of the Yitzias, the preparation for Yitzias Mitzrayim for all the Eser Makkos, which start the next Parsha, is Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu says, Hashem, I thought that as soon as I would say, let's go, the power would say, go. So that's what I thought you had told me. Hashem said, now you'll see. Now you'll see. You have to be ready to say, I want to see the other Hashem. Now you'll be able to see. So we're stuck with me, Hashem B'Kolim. Yeah. Does Hashem tell me what I'm supposed to be doing? The answer is, if we listen carefully to what we're being told to do, that's the Dvar Hashem. And our tefillos are that which we prove to ourselves that we're listening to what Hashem wants from us. And with that, this will be Aschal to the Gula, this will take us out of all the difficulties. Hashem will listen to our cries, because when we cry out to him, he listens. So one of the cutest stories that came out this week is that one of the soldiers who were battling there, on October 7th, he thought he was outnumbered. He started running for his life, and he started dodging the bullets, and he finds himself behind a brick wall, and he's running. What's he saying? Shema Yisrael, Hashem is going to show you. Over and over again, he's running, yelling Shema Yisrael. Maybe all he knows, right? And he comes into this behind this wall, and he looks down on the floor. Is a ring that says Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. He picks it up and he carries it with him, because if he says, "You call out to Hashem," Hashem says, "I'm listening." So we should listen. Hashem should listen to the voice of Hashem. Hashem is in our lives all the time.
Good.